Happy Sunday, everybody. This is my first Sunday night live stream exclusively on the Sci-Fi Center's own network. So I am not expecting a huge turnout tonight, but I wanted to test it just to see where we're at. Right now, I'm in a weird position because, like I was telling you guys before, we started out solely streaming on the Poindexter Lounge, but as I started to purchase my own network and get my own thing going, I needed to find out exactly where I am as a YouTuber and as a content creator. So we've been doing more and more streams just to figure out what we're doing right, what time of day, things like that. And I needed to check out my analytics. And one of the days that I had never done a Sunday live stream on is on my own channel without, Poindexter Lounge. So right now, this is as much for analytics as anything else because, like I said, I'm still streaming on Poindexter Lounge. Don't get me wrong. We have not left Poindexter Lounge. We will still be doing plenty of stuff on there. But at the same time, I'm streaming on Poindexter Lounge. I'm trying to develop my own community and see where we're working on our own as opposed to, it was really hard because, like I said, I didn't know where my followers were coming from on any given time. So here we are. I have watched just over half of All Out. I was watching some matches today. I have watched the main matches. I skipped the Rodman matches. I skipped some of those other ones. But despite my misgivings on how the CM Punk situation was handled, the Elite situation was handled, I went on record last night, and I will stick by the fact that I think that the Elite, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Adam Page, Tony Khan all failed in that situation. Before you even get to CM Punk's part in it, every one of those men I just mentioned and the ones that surround them, as far as executive vice president, everybody at that executive level, all failed. CM Punk was no angel, but like I said, I come from a military background. Leadership matters. And if the team fails, the leader failed first. The leader failed the team. Leaderships fail teams long before players do. And that's what I feel here. That being said, they reminded me and just about everybody else that they are the best American promotion. And it's not even close. I know what WWE is. I know what they've built. I grew up with it. But that's this WWE. When you say WrestleMania, for me, yeah, it's a show with some good matches on it. WrestleMania used to be great match after great match after great match. A lot of what WWE has built has been on reputation, not necessarily what's gone on recently. So tonight, AEW proved, or reasserted the fact that they are the best American promotion out there. They're not perfect by any means, but they put on the best matches. For the most part, they tell the better stories. The only, their partnerships with other global wrestling promotions strengthens them. And the contract situations that allow, like Aussie Open and Will Ospreay, to go back and forth, and if Aussie Open is signed with AEW, but that doesn't mean they can't go to New Japan and wrestle there. And if Will Ospreay ever signs with AEW, I'm pretty sure when Wrestle Kingdom comes around, they will have no problem with getting a match going there. Kenny Omega is fully signed with AEW, yet he's at Wrestle Kingdom. He'll probably be at Wrestle Kingdom this year with Omega Ospreay 3. So, like I said, despite the goopy weekend that AEW has had, if you watch this pay-per-view tonight, you truly understand they are the best promotion out there right now in North America. All right. So, yeah, if you guys get a chance, if you can, donate to the Frat Fund. I am working on it. As a matter of fact, I got it up right now. And thank you for Anta, who follows from Facebook. It's kind of cool how it lets me know. I'm going to do some playing around. I might do like a closed stream to where I put everything I've learned from my tutorials and Streamlabs together. But we are definitely going to be migrating over to Streamlabs OBS sooner than later. And like I said, I got little graphics and stuff. I got little goofy pictures of me that'll pop up when somebody responds or puts in a donation. So I'm getting closer, guys. One of these days, I'm just going to surprise you. But yeah, if you get the chance, there you go. Streamlabs.com/sci-fi center for any type of tip. Anything helps. All right. If you don't have anything, just liking and subscribing and sharing, this helps as well. And I have pinned that to the top. Also in the description is the Patreon account. Now I am creating a new tier, a $15 tier, and each of those people, the first maybe 15 or 20 of those people, are all going to get posters. Like the posters I showed you guys last night. I'm going to start you guys off once I do this tier. I'm going to start you guys off with the Oppenheimer posters, and you will be able to probably, depending on how many people we have that like that, that go for that tier, then I'll probably give you both versions of it. So you brand new people that are going to come on to the $15 tier, you guys are going to probably get both versions of the Oppenheimer poster. Rhea, I'm giving you your shirt for the first timer. And also this Friday, we're going to do a Patreon stream for all the Patreons, $5, or it doesn't matter who, what tier you're at. So got a lot of stuff coming. Little by little, I'm getting out there. How you doing, Daniel? What's going on, Spider-Man? Anthony Manzano, what's going on? Sci-Fi Center is just a cleaner experience overall. In what way? I thank you for the compliment. I'm just trying to figure out what I do get today. Woo. Or do you mean just as on our own? I got you. All right. Well, because of your comic book store, do you have enough money to set up your own podcast studio in a separate building away from the store? Yeah, sort of. That's what I'm kind of doing now. That's why I'm off camera now, because I am setting up the studio in my office here at the house, and that's where a good half of the stream. I enjoy streaming from the center, but sometimes I'm just tired and I just want to get home on a Saturday night. Friday and Saturdays are our big revenue days. So not only are we doing the show, I'm doing giveaways, I'm doing promotions. Sometimes we're doing our live Rocky Horror Picture Show stuff. We're doing our wrestling events. So sometimes, it's a lot easier for me just to crash, go home. I don't have to break down anything. I don't have to, I can just close down the store sometimes and just go. But there are, on these other streams that I do, I want you guys to be able to, A, see my face, A, see my environment that I have at the house. It's kind of cool. Just to give you a glimpse of what we're going to be doing just mentally, I'm going to have it. It's going to be a wide shot, kind of like what Nicotina has and Campia has, to where I have two different cameras, one that zooms in on me. And now that we're going to be using OBS, I can use my stream deck to be able to change the camera shots, because I do have multiple cameras and side views and stuff. So I'm going to have the screen behind me that has a topic that we're discussing that I'll be having hooked up to the stream deck, and then I'll have the cameras and the lighting. Like I said, when you guys will see me stream here from the house, I'm dark, and the only light I have is the TV and the screen. I don't want to do that anymore. So I have lighting. I've ordered a brand new ring light, a nice huge ring light. I also ordered two tablet stands, one for the store and one for here, so that I can bring up the chat, and it's a lot easier to pop out and other stuff that I want. And then I can have a totally different dedicated screen. So yeah, I am working on all that. It's just a matter of getting it the way I want to and in the time, because I've had to rearrange my entire house to make it happen. So yeah, Anthony, that's happening. William, do you still believe? So yeah, maybe. Like I said, there's 1% of my brain that says, you know what, this is just, But man, that crowd, like I said, the crowd crucified Tony last night, and deservingly so. I thought the way if this is not a work, I thought the way he handled the situation was absolutely abysmal. But like I said, I'm not going to let. I loved AEW's product before CM Punk stepped on the ring, and I'm going to love it afterwards. I wish they would have handled this better, but you know what? It's not. It's not the end of the world for me. The crowd was into it tonight, man. The crowd was into it. Even the shitty matches. And there were some matches on there that just weren't that good. The Rodman thing was kind of stupid. best match of the night for me was Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley. Anybody out there that doubts that Orange Cassidy is ready to get up to that main event status, I don't know what you're watching. Spoiler alert, he did lose the title, but I think this match elevated him to places that, I think putting him in the main event with a top tier character like Jon Moxley, I think elevated him. I don't think there's any more that Orange Cassidy could have done with the international title. I mean, he main evented with it. He defended it for 27 times, 30 times, and each match was entertaining and compelling. So it's time for him to move on. And this is one thing that AEW, in my opinion, in their short time around, and this is something that WWE used to do. They used to use the titles, temporary title reigns, to elevate you to the next title. This thing that they're doing with Gunther, I think, is stupid. I like Gunther. I think he's impressive. But the whole let's break the honky tonk man reign is stupid. Roman Reigns, I like Roman Reigns as a performer. He has become unbearable to watch with this bloodline storyline. The title has literally become meaningless now. Meaningless to the point where that guy's walking around with an undisputed world title while Seth Rollins is walking around with another title, which technically means the title is disputed. So yeah, but Orange Cassidy had that belt for the right amount of time. He defended it well. He lost against a top tier guy, and I think that you have enough data to know that Orange Cassidy is ready for the next level. He's ready to challenge for a world title soon. But yeah, as far as it being a work, I don't know. I mean, the crowd seemed to have moved past it a little bit. I think that it still could be a work. But like I said, if it's not a work, it was handled horribly. But I can say that the company that I favor the most in North America has botched something and still enjoy their overall product. How you doing, Vince? What's going on? Well, this happens when you have pro wrestlers who don't have any experience in the business world as your EVPs instead of actual businessmen. Yeah, and that's fine to have them as EVPs because they are the founders of the company. I don't mind that. But here's the thing: you got to act like it. And if you think you're compromised, you don't think that you could enter a situation with a clear mind because you're too close to it, like they were, then you got to bring in somebody outside of everything, not just a former wrestler. It's got to be somebody who can come in and look at the situation objectively. And I don't think that happened here, unfortunately. Who is the biggest draw for AEW after CM Punk? Probably Moxley, and then MJF. MJF is great, and the current thing that he's in with Adam Cole is great, and it's helping him draw better. But I don't think he's on the level of Jon Moxley yet. That's why whenever you lose a CM Punk draw, you always see Jon Moxley put in because he's the next biggest thing. How you doing, Chappie? What's going on? William, the issue that you're saying is how long can AEW last with their hardcore fan base who mainly watches independent wrestling and okay, let me read this again. William, the issue with what you were saying is how long can AEW last with their hardcore fan base who mainly watches independent wrestling and do not have casual fans. I disagree. I do think they have casual fans. I do think they have a good percentage of their fans that watch both AEW and WWE. And I do think they. I know they started out that way. I will agree that back after all the original All In back in 2018. That at that time because a lot of those guys weren't wrestling for WWE. They were wrestling for New Japan and Ring of Honor, which was two much smaller federations at the time. But now, since they've been on TNT, since they've been on TBS, since they have major pay-per-views, I think that's changed a little bit. So I think we've graduated beyond the hardcore. We're still here, but I think the common fan has come in as well. Blue Beetle crossed $100 million mark after 4 weeks. That's about how you saw it performing. Yeah, Yeah. Now a lot of that money they're not going to get. Like I said, as far as what they spent, if they spent, let's say the modesty they spent 104 on it, then they may just the majority of their money back because the theaters get some, and I think if it had an international release, then they get a big chunk out of that. So, and then you have other things that go on. I don't think they spent that much on advertisement. I didn't see anything out there other than the commercials that aired a lot of on networks that they either owned or networks that they had partnerships with already that didn't cost them money. So I think Blue Beetles did just fine right there. And then now we get into the PVOD market where they don't have much to make up to break even. And I remember what I said at the end of this, at the end of Blue Beetles' run, when all money is counted, Blue Beetles not going to lose money. And to me, this is what it looks like. So now they could have done better, but like I said, we're not going to go into the entire situation of the movies that were left for dead. All right, hold on for a second. I gotta fix this fucking chair. For some reason, hold on. Let me fix this because I am so sick of that sound. Glad I'm not on camera. I got this chair upside down. There we go. Let's see if that helps. Okay, I think that helps. AEW proves why WWE needs to allow blood in their matches. It really does elevate the matches. Okay, yes and no, Dark Knight. Yes, WWE could use it. And impressively, the Jon Moxley match, he didn't bleed from his head into this match. I was shocked. Bryan Danielson did. Now, see, with Bryan Danielson, it actually was part of the story. And, when Moxley does it, I think Moxley bleeds too much. But, that's just me. But, yeah, WWE could use it. But there's a lot of stuff that WWE could use in their matches that, I think would help. I think WWE has the potential to put on some of the best stuff too, but they just don't. Their booking just undercuts them. There you go. There's a Patreon. Doing the Patreon. Like I said, we're gonna have a Patreon stream this Friday, just before the Star Trek show stream. So all of you guys that are currently signed up, I'm going to have you on there with me. If you want to kind of see how I'm going to set it up. Take a look at some of the beer streams that I've been on with Dave the Film Junkie. It's going to be pretty much like that. I just want to have everybody so far. I know it's only been a week, just about a week and 2 days since we've set up everything, and but I want to start doing stuff so that you guys know that we're not just sitting there, just collecting money. I just want to have you guys involved, and then we're going to start doing some watch-alongs. Like I said, September 13th. If I get 20 Patreons before, on or before September 13th, I will supper for you, and we will do a Howard the Duck stream. And until then, Howard the Duck is banned. That's, man. Cleaner experience on my own. Well, yeah, and then not in no way, shape, or form, and I know what you mean. And when I say this, it's not a knock on the Point Action. I know you didn't mean that way. It's just that when I'm on here, when I'm on Enosh's channel, I feel obligated to represent what the Point Action Lounge is and what has meant to those people that are on there for it. When I'm solely on my channel, then I'm representing the Sci-Fi Center, and that's it. We're when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. So, like I said, when I'm caretaking and when I'm keeping going someone else's network, I'm always having it in the back of my head that is his network. There's certain things I don't want to bring up, certain things like I said, you're just watching a house. It's not your house. Here, this is my house. So it just feels like there's a different flow to the shows. There's a different type of atmosphere, and it's an appropriate atmosphere, and that's what I wanted to do before he took his hiatus. Was I was trying to create a distinct atmosphere for this channel, and finally we're doing it. So I'm happy. Yeah. I don't. As you guys probably know, even when I am on that network, I don't do chaos. You have chaos in your normal everyday lives. You have chaos at work. You have chaos with the husband or the wife or the mistress and the kids and and everything else. You have that chaos. When I come to YouTube, when I come to these shows, I don't come to drive my blood pressure up. I come to relax and enjoy, and that's what I want to provide for you guys. I don't want to have the controversy. I'm not going to go into YouTube wars with other content creators. You will never see another YouTuber on my thumbnail unless they are going to be a guest. And I fucked that up the other night, by the way, because I should have had Junkman on my thumbnail, but it was just. Yeah. But when we're here, we're going to talk content. We're going to keep it on the subject. I have a measly 260 right now. I could easily drive that up by just going after. I just don't want to do that. That's not the. I will take it slow, and keep the chaos to a zero right now. So thank you. Hello everyone, how you doing? Yes, please like and subscribe. And I didn't load the animation thing up here. Hold on, let me see, because I should have had the thing up here already. I had everything loaded up to the Is this it? Hold on for a second. I think this is it. I don't think that's it. Yeah, I had a little. My sister made me a little like and subscribe thing. Hold on for a second. It's kind of cool. See if I can find it. And no, and these are other things. Like right now, I know there's a lot of people who can master StreamYards a little bit better than I can. I am not going to stay with StreamYards long enough for that to be a. Okay, so that's not it. So yeah, I'll bring it up. I have a little like and subscribe thing, and the one that I have has my logo on it. So and me, it has a little cartoon of me, and it says like and subscribe. So you'll see that soon. But yeah, like, subscribe, share, let everybody know if this is the kind of conversation that you enjoy having, and you have these conversations with your friends, your family, and everything else. Bring them on in. I try to include everybody that pops up on my stream. I know. I read the comments straight from StreamYard, so I try to make it so that everybody that takes their time for the show, gets to their point. I may not be able to answer everything, but I try to get to it. The rain has passed. There was some drizzle today, but for the most part, it's over. That deluge that ruined my weekend has passed. Anthony, do you think AEW over relies on matches with a lot of blood instead of using stipulation to blow off matches in a few? I think certain individuals in the AEW do, but not everybody. As a rule. How you doing, Jacob? What are your thoughts on Variety says 900 million mark for Oppenheimer is within reach. $1 billion is closer than the box office watches. Yeah. Like I said, but nobody ever thought the Barbenheimer. No one knew what the hell Barbenheimer was going to be until those dates were announced. And then like I said, I hate to say this because I haven't seen Barbie, and I thought that I'm biased. I thought that Oppenheimer was a big moneymaker on its own, but like I said, it's a historical thing. Those things don't always make that kind of money. Historical dramas just generally don't make that kind of cash. And so for Oppenheimer to do that, though, but I have to admit, we have to be realistic. It did a lot of that money because of Barbie. There's a lot of people that had no plans on ever seeing Oppenheimer unless it's phenomenon with Barbenheimer, which is fine. I'm glad, Christopher Nolan, like I said, I criticize Nolan a lot. I think he's overrated, but when he's good, he's good. And in this movie, this is slightly edging out Dunkirk for me. I love Dunkirk and I love this movie, but the rest of his movies are like, but you know what? When he puts one out there, he puts one out there. So, and it's probably going to cross the $1 billion mark when it gets re-released for Oscar consideration. Well, thought on Denny Villeneuve says just because there are no real sandworms doesn't mean we are going to a soundstage for Dune 2. He's one of those guys. He's a throwback that likes to use practical effects whenever possible, and he likes to use practical tricks whenever possible. That's fine. And you know what? It works for him. I don't have anything against a director who wants to use CGI a lot, as long as it's done well. But yeah, he's one of those ones. He's one of those ones that like he loves to be on scene. That's why Dune is such an expensive movie, because they're going to places like Africa, they're going to Egypt, they're going to Tanzania, all these places that these exotic locations. He's there. he is there. So, I agree. Orange Cassidy took his hands out of his pockets. I've been gone. Yeah, he does that. And he talked too, by the way. This last week, he gave a very good promo telling you what the title meant to him, how he was a skinny kid from nowhere and all this. And then once he gave that, I'm like, okay, you're about to lose this title. You're about to lose this title. But you know what? Like I said, there's nothing more he can do as it was called the All Atlantic champion, but there was nothing more he could do with that title, and that's the way you do it. Once Gunther has done everything he can with the Intercontinental title, yet he's held it for over a year. What is Roman Reigns doing for 3 years with that title? How is that? That's not elevating him, and that's not elevating the title, in my opinion. So they're doing it right with Orange Cassidy, and I'm glad to see. Like I said, yeah, he lost the match, but I just like when Macho Man lost against Ricky Steamboat back in '86. That elevated Randy Macho Man Savage to the next level. And within 2 years of losing that match at WrestleMania 3, Randy Macho Man Savage was the world champion in WrestleMania 4. Actually, not even two years. I'm sorry, within 1 year, because WrestleMania 3 was '87. I'm sorry, '87. So within a year, 1 calendar year from losing that title in one of the greatest WrestleMania matches ever, Randy Macho Man Savage was the world champion. Now, same thing with Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior won the Intercontinental Championship, held it twice. Was once they saw that he could carry a title, guess what? Next year, WrestleMania 6, Ultimate Warrior was the world champion. Bret Hart, Intercontinental champion, one of the better ones of that era. They put the belt on him to see if he could work as a tag, from a tag team. If he could transition from a tag team to a singles wrestler, he could. Guess what happened a few years later? Bret Hart's the world champion. Shawn Michaels, same thing. Most of these guys, The Rock, most of these guys, held that Intercontinental title as a stepping stone. Now, and the only one that was an aberration was the Honky Tonk Man, because the gimmick was working for him. Not because they were ever going to elevate the Honky Tonk Man, but they used the Honky Tonk Man's title reign to put a whole bunch of people over, mainly Randy Savage, because it was the Saturday Night's Main Event where Randy Savage was cheated out of the Intercontinental title. He was trying to beat Honky Tonk Man, and the Hart Foundation got involved and hit him over the head with the guitar, and Elizabeth Linton got Hulk Hogan. And that, a few months later, that was in February. By April, Randy Savage world champion. So, yeah, I think that Orange Cassidy, they're handling Orange Cassidy perfectly right now. Just because you don't have one small element doesn't mean you throw away an entire concept of being honest and real. Yeah. Like I said, that's his very negative. It's working. It's what makes him. Even in Blade Runner 2049, there was a lot of that there, but obviously he couldn't recreate that environment. He did it as much as he could, though. Blue Beetle made $100 million worldwide, with other markets opening soon. They will hit their budget. Yeah, they only got $4 more million to hit. Now, I don't think it's going to do well in those markets. I just don't see the buzz for it, but it doesn't have to. $4 million, you can make $4 million in Italy or somewhere. I mean, it's just, it only takes one market to meet its mark, and it'll be fine. I think it's going to be a break-even movie once it's all over with. But hey, if it makes a little bit of change, good. I wish the movie had been put into a much better situation, but there we go. Question, out of curiosity, William, how would you book a grudge match between CM Punk and Jungle Boy and make it the biggest wrestling event in broadcast history for both TV and streaming? I would have the angle being that Tony Khan's father, at the behest of Warner Brothers Discovery, has ordered Tony Khan to reinstate CM Punk because he's a draw and he sells merchandise. And I would make the angle without bringing his father on. His father is the co-owner of AEW, and his father owns, but his father's the top dog. I mean, Tony Khan owns AEW. He runs it, he operates it, but like I said, he did it, a lot of it with his old man's money. and his old man put him in the position to be able to do this, even though he's been a major part of it. But as an angle, I would have either that, even if you didn't want to use Tony Khan's father, you could have a Warner Brothers deck coming down saying, hey, you know what, we can't sign this new TV deal. We're concerned. We need you to reinstate CM Punk. Or they do it themselves. And then, you have Jack Perry in a match, a high level match, either for the TBS title or TNT title. I mean, that's the women's title, TNT title, or the All Atlantic title, something like that. You have him in some type of situation, and then you have CM Punk come out of nowhere and just whack him with that belt. And then I would set it up for the next major pay-per-view. And then you would have the stipulation. I would have stipulation to where winner wins a certain match, and then they pick the thing, and guess what? I would use the whole glass angle. I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways you can do it, but that's just one off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure if I thought a little bit more about it, I could probably get a little bit more out of there. William thought an Equalizer thing opens up to 60 million worldwide, the biggest launch for the franchise. I think it's wonderful. I love the first two ones. By the way, I gave away digital passes for that. First of all, I think Denzel Washington is one of the all-time greats, and I think The Equalizer is a very underrated little movie, and it don't cost much to make. Hold on, let's see. All right. So its budget was 70 million, which is cheap. It's already made 68 million. And a movie like that will creep right over will creep right over its money. I mean, it'll get its money on a bunch of different, and this is the kind of movie, like I said, this is one of them date night movies. And let's see, Equalizer 2. I love Equalizer 2. Once again, same budget, 62 to 79 million, ended up making 190 million. I don't know. Let's see, to the Equalizer 2. I'm just seeing what the Equalizer made. But I don't know if it's going to make it. I don't know if it's going to go 2 million, but like I said, it's already going to be. It's already going to be popular. Let's see. Hold on. Equalizer film, 2014. They roughly they spend the same amount on them, and they average 200 million per. So who knows if it'll have legs? I don't know what the original one. What did the original one open up to? Let's see, box office. All right, box office. Equalizer grossed 100 million in North America and 90 million in other territories, for a worldwide gross of 190 million. Let's see. All right, wow. So yeah, they're well on their way. The film was released in September 26, 2014, in the United States, and earned 12.5 million from 300 theaters in its opening night, including 1.4 million earned from Thursday night screenings. Okay, so wow, it's doing very well. Congratulations, Denzel. Not that you need to hear it from me. Chappie, what did you think of Superman: The Quest for Peace? Yeah, I was thinking. I thought it was horrible. William thought on Talk to Me and surpassed Hereditary to become the highest grossing A24 horror movie of the domestic box office. I still haven't seen Talk to Me yet, but that's good for them, especially in this climate of the strike. Do you see AEW signing? I see AEW signing Sasha Banks with her New Japan stint. Remember, New Japan and All Elite Wrestling have a partnership together where you can go back and forth. That's why Will Ospreay, who is not currently signed with AEW, can show up at All In and wrestle Chris Jericho. That's why he can show up at Forbidden Door and wrestle Kenny Omega. That's why Kenny Omega can go back and forth. That's why Aussie Open, who's part of a faction that is in New Japan, even though they're signed with AEW, they can go back and forth in New Japan. So even if she were to sign with AEW exclusively, that would not preclude her going back to New Japan. But I think that I don't know what her contract status is, but she doesn't have to sign with AEW to show up on their shows. So her stint with New Japan would not have to end because of their partnership together. All right, I'm a big fan of Darby Allin, and I'm afraid for this one, Jeffrey in the business with how he wrestled. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why he dropped this match tonight is so he's going to take some time off. He has a back injury. He has a serious back injury that he's wrestling. When you saw him tonight, he's wrestling through a very bad back, and he wrestles in a way that it's not going to get any better unless he takes some time off. Yeah, and you don't want these guys on painkillers because that's, how he got addicted to. Yeah, he got addicted to opioids. Yeah, and I think it's a different environment than when Jeff Hardy did it, but it's the same thing. I don't think Darby will go on the painkiller route, but he will be incapacitated if he keeps it up. So, yes, I did. I got home and I'm going to download it. I think I got the notification for it. So I'm going to download that. What Vince was talking about, he did another edit from last night. He did the Junkman conversation. For those of you who missed our show last night, shame on you. But let me I'm going to put that link because like I said, with each one of these Saturday Night Overnighters, I'm getting more prouder and how the show is coming out, how it's looking, how the flow is going. I decided not to try to bring it down to a 2-hour show. I just let the show go where it went, and I thought it turned out just fine. Yeah, now, work or no work, Jack Perry deserves to be suspended for a lengthy amount of time. If it's not a work, let's like I said, I know we're talking foil hat conspiracy. If it's not a work, what he did was bullshit. First of all, you have the management sending the main guy on the show so to have a wrestler professional conversation with you about not using the glass on there because they're worried about players, wrestler safety. And then you took that to a different level, and you took it to the point where you mentioned it on a pay-per-view. Like I said, I don't think he has that kind of stature to be doing that. If you're a draw and you're doing that, you know what? You can get away with some stuff because people are watching and it's a business. But you're not a draw and you're doing that, and everybody knows you're just causing a problem. And if he instigated that the way I understand it, he did, he deserves. Now, do I think he deserves to be fired? No, but he deserves a very lengthy suspension if it's not a work. Now, if for some reason Punk ever comes back, legal matters are settled, or if it's a work, obviously you got to make money off of it. So maybe giving him a lengthy suspension is part of keeping him off camera for a while and then bringing him back. Who knows? I'm not behind the scenes, but yeah, he needed to be suspended for quite a while. But when you look at Jon Moxley, you see more Mick Foley, Terry Funk, or Sandman. More Terry Funk, because even though Terry Funk had the hardcore element, he was actually a technical wrestler. I actually think out of all the people you brought up, Jon Moxley actually has more technical wrestling ability than all of those people. Barbie is still going strong at the box office and getting content with what it previously cut out to be back in with IMAX screens, which is pushing him back to digital release, which is fine. I'm so happy for you, Vince. You know what? Screw you guys. Yeah. He actually, be honest with you. To be honest with you, if he was going to go public about it last night or the night, whatever, that should have been, in my opinion, that should have been part of the announcement, in my opinion. But that's me. How you doing, Anthony Beltray? What's going on, man? This is great. This only underscores what I've been saying for a while when it comes to sequels, continuity, and franchises. When you give people something they like and they ask for more, give it to them. The Equalizer. There's a reason why it's the highest one release of that franchise. People like it. I am not an advocate of just one-offs. I want my money to go a long way. I want my money to contribute to the entire world. I'm not eight years old anymore. I want franchises. I want more. And I think what you just put here, just into me is proof that I'm not alone. So yeah, good news there. I got to be honest, without the Punk AEW nonsense, I don't watch Payback. I did, or All Out. So I'm sure drama got more wrestling fans who turned out to come back. So it's still win-win. In the case of CM Punk, a lot of people came out of the woodwork when he came back. So I don't know how that happened. Payback was just a bad show. I'm sorry. I watched Payback, and there was some good stuff there, but not enough to make it a big event. And one of the best matches of the night got ruined. I mean, it's just not a good product for me right now. And maybe because I have all these other wrestling companies that are giving it to me in a different way, but yeah, it's just not a very good product right now. How you doing, Larry? Batman Begins, Inception, Prestige, and The Dark Knight are my favorite Nolan films. Not a big fan of I'm just going to go on mine. I'm not a big fan of The Prestige. I like Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight, but if you just gave me a cut of the movie with just Heath Ledger in it, I'd be fine with that. Batman Begins, I think, is a boring, slow-paced movie. But like I said, I'm not knocking you, Azteca. These are people keep asking me, why can you say that about? In my opinion, a lot of it is pacing with him, and a lot of it is just And then, like I said, Batman Begins. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But the Dark Knight is just Heath Ledger for me. And The Prestige, none of these are bad movies. They're just not. I just don't put them in that atmosphere that everybody else does. Barbie was good. Haven't seen it. If it was pretty much a musical like Joker 2 will probably be. I think Joker 2 is going to be phenomenal, and it could possibly get her Academy Award. She should have won for A Star Is Born. Well, it'd be cool to see either Ridley Scott or Christopher Nolan do a movie based on the Iraq War or Afghanistan, not a movie just based on one person like Chris Kyle. You got a lot of movies out there like that, though. Hurt Lock, I guess. Anything Ridley Scott does is, got my attention. Even Thelma and Louise. How you doing, Azteca? William, what are your thoughts on Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 has unfortunately begun filming? Unfortunately, I take that out of there. The only unfortunate thing about it is, and I can't get these guys to sit down with me for an interview because after they did their whole press run last time, they went right into shooting this one. So, boo. What is your opinion on David Fincher says he can understand both sides of the strikes? All we need to do is that's what I was saying a couple of weeks ago. Like I said, some of the figureheads of the strike have done and said some stupid shit. And they've done it out loud. And it has given them the veneer that they are dealing in bad faith. So, yeah. But like I said, let's look at it from the Netflix point of view, though. How much can they give? How much of the pie can Netflix give up and still be sustainable under their business model to the point where we're not paying higher prices or we're getting less content? Out of all the people that are involved in the studio, and Netflix, literally their business model is on the line. How they do business and how their existence as it exists now is on the line. So yeah, I can see both sides. One side has said increasingly dumb stuff, but that's a handful of guys that may not speak for just about everybody. So there may be some people in there, but like I said, the big heavy hitters that run the big studios are the loudest voices in the room because they generate the most revenue. Have you guys seen Beau is Afraid yet? I've watched it. I have not. They just dropped the trailer for the new Toho-produced Japanese Godzilla movie, Godzilla -1. It looks super creepy and scary, very intense, got major horrifying. When did they do that? Was that today? Hold on. I'm not going to play it because I don't feel like getting kicked off of YouTube. But hold on. Because the teaser was kick-ass. Oh, 15 minutes ago. Hold on for a second, guys. I'm gonna mute because, like I said, I don't want to get, and I've never dealt with Toho on a YouTube level. So hold on. I'm gonna mute myself here. Okay, that looks phenomenal. That looks like what Cloverfield was supposed to be. I that that design of Godzilla is old school, and it looks like an old school like Godzilla movie, but modernized. I like the legendary design of Godzilla, but this Godzilla looks fine. Um, I see buses and trains and cars flying everywhere. It looks just like, I mean, wow. Post war Japan. I mean, this looks great. I cannot wait for this to be released. Wow. I wish I could play that trailer. William, if Mercedes had debuted tonight, do you think AEW were set up a feud with her? Well, she's not cleared to wrestle yet, as far as I know. Yeah, I think they will definitely set up a feud with her. Yeah, by the way, they are on good terms. It was an accident, and then when she was cleared to wrestle, she said one of the first people she called was Mercedes because she always carried that guilt with her that she ended her career, so she wanted her to take that weight off of her. No way. Did that movie make that much? I know we promoted it, but I didn't get a chance to see it, but I heard it was horrible. But it was supposed to be horrible. So Meg to the Trench, 129 million, 104, which is for that kind of movie. Holy cow! It doubled its budget. Now I know for a fact they spent a ton of money on the production, not the post production and the thing, because we had here. They rented out the top of a casino and they had a pool. They had the pool party where we had people, and I got pictures on the site where people were watching it from the pool, and they had like drinks and food and blankets, and they were giving away beach towels like they did for the first one. And I couldn't make it to that one because I had to go. What was the movie I saw instead? I forgot. But yeah, I couldn't go, but I sent a bunch of people to it, so I'm glad to see that. People knew how awful that movie was going to be, and they knew it, not just that kind of movie. So I'm good. William, in Marvel Comics, Spider-Man and Captain America and Iron Man or Iron Man to have similar storyline. The Kingdom Come Superman. Not that I can remember. I know there's future storylines, but not like Kingdom Come in my opinion. But there may be other people who see it differently. All right, let's see. You guys talking to each other. Yeah, and it's just like it looks like it's a carryover from World War II. It's like post war Japan when it's like I love the words that say the post war Japan had nothing. Now they're at minus because here comes Godzilla tearing shit up, boy. And it has all 3Ds in it. I don't know about the dismemberment. I'm pretty sure, if you go, somebody who's in that train car that got tossed has probably lost a couple of limbs. But yeah, I see death and destruction all over Godzilla, and I'm all there for it. Anthony Manzano, there's a book called The Marvels, drawn by the same artist, Alex Ross, that came out before Kingdom Come. It's not the same story per se, but you see the same narrative. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. The Marvels is a story that's done by Alex Ross, and he does mostly the covers of it, but he does some of the interiors of the Marvels. But what the Marvels is, when it's for the most part, is you're seeing the classic storylines, like you're seeing the coming of Galactus, you're seeing Spider-Man versus the Green Goblin for the very first time. Instead of reading it in a comic, you're seeing it from the point of view from the people who are in the cities. So that's a good thing to bring up. I knew somebody out there would bring it up there for me. All right, I'm trying to get through as much. What's a perfect ending to a franchise when it comes to not oversaturating it because you want to make money off it? I don't know, because pretty much every franchise has continued beyond a certain amount. I mean, you could say the Dark Knight trilogy. Despite what I think about the Dark Knight trilogy. John McGill from Facebook just put it in the like. Thank you. Lethal Weapon. I mean, they made 4 of them, but they were all good. Not too many. The same thing that bothers me with just about every Christopher Nolan movie, the pace. It just doesn't keep me engaged to really get enthralled into it. Whereas Oppenheimer, he nailed it in Oppenheimer, and he nails it in Dunkirk. But most of his movies, they just I just find slow and boring. I know I'm like in a minority, but Phil Williams thought on Luke Cage director Mark Jope says that Colleen and Missy's team up episode was absolutely intended to set up Daughters of the Dragon spinoff series. I think so. I believe that. Let's see. William, do you think the reason that you say the Dark Knight is not as good as people make it out to be, as big Heath Ledger's Joker overshadows everybody? Well, yeah, because when you look at the Dark Knight trilogy in retrospect, it's looked at with Heath Ledger's performance in there. But like I said, if he doesn't deliver that performance, Dark Knight, the Dark Knight probably makes the same, just a little bit more than Batman Begins, and then the Dark Knight Rises. I would think each movie would make an increased amount of money, but I don't think they become the phenomenon that they did. Heath Ledger's Joker will be the face of that franchise, in my opinion, and that's what drives it financially. When you look at the performance of everyone in the cast, everybody did well. I don't think everybody did well. To be honest with you, I thought there were actors on that cast that you had Academy Award winners on that cast that I don't think were all that great. I mean, I don't think that's Michael Caine's best performance. I don't think that's Morgan Freeman's best performance. So, to me, they were just there. No, Man of Steel is before Man of Steel. Superman 2 was my favorite Superman movie. But if we're talking overall, Man of Steel is better. Is for me, my favorite Superman movie. It doesn't. It's dated. It does not age well. None of the Superman movies from the 80s age well. You have to just remember how to enjoy them for the time that they were in, but they do not age well. They're cheesy. The effects, obviously, they were dealing with different type of effects back then. different types of villains back then. And back then they cared more about they wanted to make it family accessible because of where Warner Brothers and comic book movies were at then in shows. So you know, so yeah, it was a different movie, and a lot of people from different generations just don't see it. They can't appreciate it because it wasn't made with the modern movie making flair. Yeah, it sure as hell did. Oh well, I wish I had security. I'm just kidding. Hell, Fourth Side. I just watched a horror movie with my kids called Cobweb. Yeah, you mentioned that last night. Came out same weekend as Barbenheimer, and had no. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, Fourth Side. That's hilarious. No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like Godzilla minus one is strictly Toho. Although it's just strictly their franchise. I mean, they work together with Legendary um, for the ones that are released here in America, but it looks like to be a different time. The Godzilla trailer finally brings back the Godzilla I was missing. Just bring the deadly force of natural finality. We'll watch the taste of Godzilla versus Kong. And oh, dude, Dark Knight. I love Kong Skull Island. I loved Kong Skull Island. Godzilla versus Kong. I enjoyed. Godzilla 2014 and King of the Monsters. Not as much as I did the other ones, but I love Kong on Skull Island. I really super enjoyed that movie. But hey, everybody's different. Disembowelment, dismember. Oh, okay. One of them was my 3Ds, and two of them you brought in. Cool. Ledger was great, no doubt, but supporting cast, including Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent, was superb. It was a collection. Yeah, but you know what? The movie had too much in it, to be honest with you. Outside of the time it gave Heath Ledger, I thought Two-Face in that movie, and everybody wants to disagree with me on this, but I didn't think he needed to be in that movie. I thought he ate up time with that Heath Ledger's Joker could have been eaten up. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I think. Well, yeah. In order for us to actually enjoy the new Superman, do you think the older generations of Superman fans need to start dying out when it comes to movies? Not necessarily dying out, but they need to appreciate and understand different points of view when it comes to approaching these IPs that have been around 80 years. It depends on who's writing the Joker. There have been so many people that wrote the Joker. There's each one of the Jokers that you see is accurate to a certain version that was written. Like the Joker from with the Joaquin Phoenix Joker is to me more like Alan Moore's version from Killing Joke. The Joker that Heath Ledger plays, I think it's a lot of his inspiration from Long Halloween. The Joker that Cesar Romero, or cinematic, Cesar Romero is more of the later versions of him that when they tried to soften everything up and they were so afraid of what Batman had become. Um, Jared Leto's Joker, something I'd never seen before, and his was different, and that's what I liked about it. So there you go. No, there's a different Godzilla movie with Kurt Russell. He's actually his son, Apple TV. Yeah, that's the series. That's the series that's on. Yeah, or his son. His son plays him as a younger version of himself. Shin Godzilla is gross. Ugh. Man of Steel is my favorite Superman movie as well, but I do love. I love Superman. I don't like the Donner cut, but I love the theatrical cut of Superman too. All right. You may be. I enjoyed Clockwork Godzilla. They killed Two Face right away. So the 5Ds would be dismemberment, destruction, death, disfigurement, and disembowelment. Yep, there you go. Are we? I don't know if I can do 5Ds all the time. You don't always get disembowelment. I hated Skull Island. I like it way more than Converse's got a video game movie here. I never played that. The reason why I said Harvey Dent and Jonathan Crane would make the most sense in the next Matt movie is because they seem to be the most down to earth. I don't think Two-Face is. You know, he's walking around with half a face, probably die of an infection. But like I said, you could find a way to do it. I don't think there's any character out there that Matt Reeves it's off the table for him. I'm just interested in how he would do it. Like I said, when you think of Clayface, a lot of marks are going to be like, oh, the big Uzi guy that could turn into a puddle of mud. No, there are versions of Clayface that would fit better with Matt Reeves' universe. Remember, he wants to make his universe as successful and that we could be living in it. It could be happening today. I met GVK was basically a video game movie. Yeah, but it was fun. William, do sci-fi fans not give enough respect to the movie Minority Report? Possibly. It's an underrated movie. Another Tom Cruise underrated movie. One of Philip K. Dick's weirder presentations as far as writing goes. I just think that movie was a little bit ahead of its time. It was a little bit more abstract than a lot of people were ready for when it got released. I think the first two movies. Oh, I don't. The effects, you can still see strings in some of those movies. So, but like I said, there's no wrong answer here. So, all right, guys, that's about it for me. I'm gonna go eat my pork chops. I need to cut back on the pork, but I'm gonna go eat some pork chops. And I'm going to be relaxing for the first time. It's not been raining on top of my head and dealing with roof leaks and stuff like that. But I wanted to have a really quick conversation with you guys. As long as I don't exhaust myself, I can stream on a regular basis. So we've been on air for about an hour and 4 minutes. There's 19 of you guys currently here right now. At the moment, there was a little bit more before, but please hit the like and subscribe button and share the stream. Hit the notification bell so you guys will be notified every time I come on air as I do more and more streams on this network. So if you haven't already subscribed, I think all of you are, but if you haven't, please do so. Also, like I said, get your friends involved. I love you guys. I love having you here. But if you got somebody in your circles that you think would like to extend the conversation with us, bring them in. And as usual, you know the deal. I stream 80% of my streams are late at night where them bad thoughts creep in, and you just need to know when that dark demon is on your shoulder. I want this right here to be on the other shoulder telling you, speaking much louder than that one is. 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline, 24/7 call, text. I want you guys to repeat it to me. When I start having Patreons on the screen, I'm going to have them read it. So that you don't, get used to the sound of my voice to where you just start ignoring it. But I'm going to put this up. I'm going to continue to put this up every stream I do. And if I forget, you guys let me. This is very important. Very important. It is the quickest way, in my opinion, for you to get the immediate help that you need if you're going through something. So, all right, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for being the best part of this YouTube experience. And like I said, I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. Got a lot going on this week, but if I feel the itch and I got the energy, I will definitely see you guys then. Until then, I will see you around the corner.